Now, Standard 9, today I shall be teaching you the story of Face in the Dark by Ruskin Bond. Now, this story is based in an English medium school in Simla. Okay. Here, Mr. Oliver, the protagonist of the story, he is an Anglican teacher and he had a habit of going out of the school campus into the market area. He had a habit of watching movies. So, this is an incident that took place for one of his outings. While he was returning back, he had come encounter with a boy. Okay, a face in the dark actually means that there was a boy who was standing or sitting on a rock outside the premises of the school in which he was working. Now, in those days, in hill schools, even a cap was a part of the uniform. And children, those who were in the hostels or the boarding schools, they were not supposed to be seen outside the campus after it becomes dark. Okay. So here, when Mr. Oliver was returning back, we shall see what took place. Mr. Oliver, an Anglican teacher, was returning to his school late one night on the outskirts of the hill station of Simla. From before Kipling's time, the school had been run on English public school lines, and the boys, most of them from wealthy Indian families, wore blazers, caps, and ties. Life magazine, in a feature on India, had once called it the Eden of the East. Mr. Oliver had been teaching in the school for several years. Now, this English medium school was once featured in the Life magazine and it was known as the Eden of the East. The Simla Bazaar, with its cinemas and restaurants, was about 3 miles from the school. And Mr. Oliver, a bachelor, usually strolled into the town in the evening, returning after dark, when he would take a shortcut through the pine forest. Now, Mr. Oliver had a habit of going out, like I told you, and then he would return back quite late in the night, and he would take the shortcut through the pine forest. When there was a strong wind, the pine trees made sad, eerie sounds that kept most people to the main road. Now what happened? Whenever there was a strong breeze, and now these pine trees are, when it blows, they make a terrible sound. And sometimes these sounds, they are very eerie, means very frightening. So whenever there was a sound, people would often think that there are some ghosts or spirits wandering in the pine forest, and they would always stick or keep on to the road. But Mr. Oliver was not a nervous or imaginative man. Now, Mr. Oliver was not a kind of a person who would get scared. He was a very strong and brave teacher. He carried a torch and its gleam, the batteries were running down, moved fitfully down the narrow forest path when his flickering light fell on the figure of a boy who was sitting alone on a rock. Mr. Oliver stopped. Boys were not supposed to be out after dark. So when he was returning back, he had his torch. So while he was flashing his torch, suddenly the light fell upon a boy sitting on a rock. And from there he was thinking what is this boy doing at this part of the night outside? What are you doing out here, boy? Asked Mr. Oliver sharply, moving closer so that he could recognize the miscreant. Oh, now he asked him, what are you doing here? Now he flashed the light just to recognize, to see who this boy was. Miscreants are usually boys who run away from school. But even as he approached the boy, Mr. Oliver sensed that something was wrong. He got kind of a strange feeling. The boy appeared to be crying, his head hung down. He held his face in his hands, and his body shook convulsively in a strange, soundless weeping, and Mr. Oliver felt distinctly uneasy. So as he was approaching the boy, he found that something strange is happening. He could hear the boy crying, but the crying sound was very peculiar. The boy had his hands towards his face and he was bending down, so he couldn't see his face properly. Tomorrow I shall go ahead with this story. Till such time I'll keep it till here. Thank you.